meaning Power Rankings time. They come out every Monday. We talk about them every Tuesday. If you haven't seen them, they come out on Twitter, on Instagram, and then we talk about them here on Tuesday. So if you don't see them, we'll talk about them here. We're gonna start at number 10. Still hanging on, but barely. They are almost out of the top 10. The Atlanta Braves down one spot from there where they were last week. They lost 2 games in a row to end the week. Entering this new week, lost 2 in a row to the Cardinals. 5-5 in their last 10 games. Just not pretty. Not pretty for the Atlanta Braves lately. Massive underperformance everywhere you look. Rotation really good. Offense has been really, really bad. So another week of underperformance for the Atlanta Braves, and they are going to be outside of the top 10. It was a struggle. There are definitely teams, and I hear you. If you're out there saying, how can you put them in over, and maybe we'll come back to this because I don't want to ruin the rest of the top 10, but I hear you. The Braves are almost out of the top 10 this week. But they are now holding on at number 10, down one spot from number 9 last week. Up to number 9, not ranked last week, the St. Louis Cardinals. 52-47, beat the Atlanta Braves on a weekend series. Huge series to start the second half. They've been one of the hotter teams in baseball for a couple months. You see them there now in the NL Central making some noise. They're in a wild card spot now in the National League. This team, man, they deserve a lot of credit. Really bad last year. Went and added a rotation that is old. But that offense is good. It just underperformed last year. I was a believer in them last year. Looked like a fool. And here they are this year, playing much better. Deserve a lot of credit. They're here at number 9. At number 8, best team in baseball since May 9th. The single best team in baseball since May 9th. Second best team in all of baseball in the month of July, the Houston Astros, not ranked last week, back in the top 10, all the way up to number 8. They are percentage points wise in first place in the AL West. Massive series against the Seattle Mariners to start the second half of the year. And man, it was just, I talked about it from a Mariners perspective, really frustrating. But you have this series, second half of the season getting underway. You have the Houston Astros breathing down your neck, and you're still trotting out an offense that has the worst batting average in all of baseball. Unacceptable for that front office to be doing this. But the Astros take care of business, winning that series, lose the game on Sunday to get back to a tie in the AL West. Yordan Alvarez rocking his shirt, Air Yordan, with the cycle on Sunday. The Astros are clicking. Look for them to add at the deadline. They're going to add a first baseman, in my opinion. They've said as much. I think they need to add a rotation piece as well. But this team is back to firing on all cylinders. At number 8, the Houston Astros. The Astros are inevitable. At number 7, the Minnesota Twins, down one spot, gets swept by the Brew Crew to start the second half of the year. Not a good look there. Really good team, looking good in the AL Central. But just a tough few games to start the second half. So not a ton of games to go off of with these power rankings. Obviously came out with them on last Monday, but it was the All-Star break. So really only 3 games, only a couple games for the Twins to start the second half. New York Yankees at number 6, down 2 spots, 4-6 in their last 10. Offense really struggling. Luis Severino of the New York Mets was asked about not being able to pitch against the Yankees this year. It just wasn't lining up for him, and talked about a group chat that he's in with his old teammates over there with the Yankees, and how they said, "Oh, you're scared to face us." And his response was, "No, I'm not. You really only have 2 good hitters." And take that in for a second. I mean, obviously with the injury to Giancarlo Stanton and the injuries they're dealing with, the New York Yankees really do only have 2 good hitters right now. Anthony Volpe on Monday hit his first home run for the Yanks since May 16th. That's over 2 months. Over 2 months without a homer for Anthony Volpe. Juan Soto and Aaron Judge are to be feared anywhere they go at all times. Really, really good. Best 1-2 punch in the game of baseball. But other than that, this Yankees lineup is not very scary right now, and they have certainly been struggling. So slid them down 2 spots to number 6, entering the top 5. To start the top 5, the Milwaukee Brewers up 2 spots, swept the Twins. Twins were playing good baseball, big weekend series. Brewers with a statement series. Jackson Chourio leading all rookies in WAR over the last couple of months. So a slower start to the year for him. But the young rookie phenom who's barely in his 20s has really turned it around and been really good. He is going to be a stud for the Brewers, has been huge for them this year, especially over the last couple months. So Brewers at number 5, starting the top 5, up 2 spots. The Cleveland Guardians at number 4, down a spot. Just lost the series to the Padres to start the second half. 3-7 in their last 10 games. The Guardians are really good. They're a good baseball team, but they are struggling right now. So I slid them down a spot because at number 3, jumping back up 2 spots, finally starting to click and play much better baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers swept the Boston Red Sox to start the second half of the year. A really good series for them. Freddie Freeman raking. Shohei Ohtani hitting an absolute tank over 470 feet, almost out of Dodger Stadium altogether. I was out at Dodger Stadium a couple weeks ago doing a thing for NHK, which is a massive news station in Japan, and going around all the stadiums, looking at all the plaques they have out there of everybody that hit the ball over. It's basically over that little overhang they have in the outfield. Going over all those, there's 4 people that have done it. One twice, Willie Stargell. But while I was doing it, I thought it will not be long until Shohei Ohtani hits a ball out of the stadium over the overhang, and just an absolute tank on Sunday for Shohei Ohtani. So the Dodgers are rolling up 2 spots. Great start to the second half for them. Very talented. They do need help at the trade deadline. A lot of teams need help at the trade deadline, but the Dodgers really need help. Rotation-wise, a lot of question marks that they're dealing with, a lot of injuries, a lot of concerns, a lot of hoping and fingers crossed that they get starters to come back. Lineup depth issues. They could address a few things, but they are a very good team. They're back up into the top 3 after sliding out for a little while. At number 2, the Baltimore Orioles staying put, not playing great baseball right now, but really everyone around them, obviously the teams that were around them or that I believe could potentially have a better roster and be ahead of them. Dodgers creeping back up on them. They've really closed that gap. Yankees really playing poor baseball. I believe the Orioles are better than the Guardians. I believe the Orioles are better than the Brewers, who are both playing good baseball. So I kept the Orioles here at number 2. Big believer in this team. Have them in the World Series from the American League side. Have since day 1 of the season. I still believe that to be the case. Very, very, very interested. They are, to me, the most interesting team of what they do at the deadline. Why are they the most interesting? Because they have more pieces than you could possibly want in the minor leagues, and it is time to cash in. Are they able to go get Tarek Skubal? I don't know. I don't think the Tigers should trade him, but that's the kind of move that they have the ability to make, and that could win them a World Series, is going to add a massive, massive arm, or going to add a massive bullpen piece and a Mason Miller. Do they do that? I don't know, but we'll see what they do. To me, they're the most interesting team at the trade deadline. Not playing their best baseball right now, but kept them put at number 2. And the clear number 1 team in baseball to me, my World Series winner, the Philadelphia Phillies. Still playing good baseball. Best team in baseball all around. Not a great start to the second half of the year. But phenomenal baseball team all around. Trey Turner has been fantastic for them this year. Finally got Bryce Harper back. Kyle Schwarber back. Rotations elite. This team, the Philadelphia Phillies, is clearly, in my opinion, a good gap right now from 1 to 2. The Philadelphia Phillies are clearly the best team in baseball. I've had them win in the World Series since day 1. This is just a little bit of a victory lap. Let me have it here for a second, having the Phillies and Orioles at 1 and 2 and having the Phillies over the Orioles in the World Series. But with that aside, right now, the clear best team in all of baseball, and rounding out my top 10 at number 1 is the Philadelphia Phillies. So I go Atlanta Braves at 10, Cardinals at 9, Astros at 8, Twins, Yankees, Brewers rounding out or starting the top 5 at 5, Guardians, Dodgers at 3, Orioles at 2, and Phillies at the number 1 spot in these power rankings.